Hey everyone, welcome back to English Lovers by HoneyD. Today we are going to dive into one of the most nostalgic and emotional poems, I Remember by Thomas Hood. Do you remember your childhood days and how simple and joyful they felt? That's exactly what this poem is all about, the happiness of childhood and the contrast with the sadness of adulthood. Let's go through the poem line by line, and I promise you'll feel the emotion behind every word. Let me read the first stanza. I remember the house where I was born, the little window where the sun came peeping in at morn. He never came a wink too soon, nor brought too long a day. But now I often wish the night had borne my breath away. So what does this mean? In the first 4 lines, the poet is remembering his childhood home. He recalls the window where the sun used to peep in every morning. The words make us imagine the warm sunlight entering the cozy room. Then he says the sun never came too soon, nor stayed too long. Childhood felt perfectly balanced and peaceful. But the last 2 lines show a sudden shift. The poet says now he often wishes that the night had taken his breath away, meaning he wishes he could escape the struggles of adult life. That's deep, isn't it? Now the second stanza. I remember the roses, red and white, the violets and the lily cups, those flowers made of light, the lilacs where the robin built, and where my brother sat, the laburnum on his birthday. The tree is living yet. Here, the poet is recalling the garden of his childhood home. Roses, violets, and lilies all colorful and vibrant. He even describes flowers as made of light, which shows how magical childhood felt. He remembers a robin building a nest in the lilac trees, and his brother planting a laburnum tree. That tree is still alive, even though his childhood is gone. This makes the memory even more emotional. Things from his past are still standing, but he has moved on and grown up. Let's move to the third stanza. I remember where I was used to swing, and thought the air must rush as fresh to swallows on the wing. My spirit flew in feathers then. That is so heavy now, and summer pools could hardly cool the fever on my brow. This is so relatable. The poet is thinking about how he used to swing as a child, feeling as light as a bird. He says his spirit flew in feathers, back then meaning he was carefree and full of joy. Now, in adulthood, his spirit feels heavy. Even in summer, when he tries to relax, he can find peace. Life feels exhausting now compared to his playful childhood. And now the final stanza. I remember the fir trees dark and high. I used to think their slender tops were close against the sky. It was a childish ignorance, but now it is little joy to know I'm farther off from heaven than when I was a boy. As a child, the poet thought the tall fir trees touched the sky. That was his innocent belief. But now he realizes it was just ignorance, and this realization brings him little joy. Why? Because as a child, he felt closer to heaven, to purity, to happiness. Now, as an adult, he feels farther away from that innocent joy. Now that we've understood the meaning of the poem, let's dive into the literary devices that make it so powerful. Repetition. The phrase I remember is repeated in every stanza to strengthen the memories. Imagery. Flowers, trees, sunlight, and swings create vivid pictures of the past. Metaphor. My spirit flew in feathers compares his joyful childhood to a light bird. Contrast. The poem highlights the joy of childhood versus the sadness of adulthood. This poem reminds us how precious childhood is and why we should cherish simple joys. Which line touched you the most? Comment below. Don't forget to subscribe to English Lovers by HoneyD for more poem explanations, grammar lessons and tips. Share this video with your friends in